Personal story segment, Taya, new best-selling book. It's called American Wife, a memoir of love, war, faith, and renewal by the widow of the American sniper, Chris Kyle. Taya Kyle joins us now. Father's Day on Sunday. You have two grammar school kids who lost their dad to a terrible, violent crime. How are they doing?
You know, they're doing really well. And Father's Day, we went to church and we hung out with some friends, and then we went home and just had some quiet kind of cuddle time together. But we really didn't make it a morose day.
Right.
You know? They're glad that he was their dad, and that hasn't changed. But we didn't make a really big deal about it.
Did they see the movie? Did you allow them to see the movie?
No, I think they're too young because they're still elementary school, like you said.
Yeah.
But we did watch the trailer, one of the first trailers, and we spent about 45 minutes going over just the trailer alone, frame by frame, just so that they wouldn't be caught off guard if they're at a friend's house and it came on. But I wanted them to know some things.
How much time did you spend talking to each of them? Is it a boy and a girl?
Boy and a girl.
Okay. About the murder, the actual crime. Because children have, obviously, I mean, when they're affected that directly and deeply. How much time did you spend with them, and what did you say?
You know, we've talked about it a lot. When they have questions, I try to just let them know there's no question they can't ask me, and we'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
You know, the questions, obviously, some of the things are the same things adults ask. You know, what's wrong with this person? Why would they do that? We talk about good and evil. We talk about bad decisions, and my belief that God gives us all free will, and that means that he gives it to people who choose evil as well.
Right.
And then, you know, my daughter and son, they both asked about, you know, the death penalty, if that was on the table early on. We talked about what that was and what it looked like, and we talk about that in American Wife, too. And it's interesting to see their responses. They're different people. You know,
You're a Christian woman, and you know, wear the cross proudly around your neck. Did you talk about forgiveness in it? Because I don't know if I could. Boy, you know, you have to. Our religion dictates, so we have to forgive.
Right.
I always say, well, you know, the person has to ask for forgiveness. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of that. But have you explained that or talked about that with the kids? We
have. We've had some really deep conversations about that, and I actually had a deep conversation with my pastor about it on a different issue. And just respecting the time that we have here, there is a story in the Bible where, you know, there were some Jews that God sent into a cave. They decided to do their own thing, not listen to God. They walked for 40 years, and they said, God, you know, please forgive me. And he said, my child, I forgave you the moment you did it. But that doesn't mean you can go back into the cave.
That's right. You have to. There's always have to be. And
there's a consequence.
This murderer will pay. You know, his life is over.
And that's what we talk about. Honestly, just to finish that thought with you, is we did talk about that. The fact that we can try to forgive the person while we condemn the act, and while we also vehemently want their punishment.
That's
for
right.
What they did.
They have to pay a price, and that's usually doled out by the deity, but in this case, the civil authorities have to do it as well.
Yep.
Now, I felt bad because it was on this program that your late husband talked about Jesse Ventura disrespecting the SEALs, which got him into a lawsuit. Ventura subsequently won almost $2 million. That judgment's being paid by the publisher of the book. However, it's under appeal. And just personally, not legally, but personally, how do you feel about this?
You know, it has been one of the most extraordinarily draining experiences, truly. And I know last time I was on your show, you know, I said I didn't give him much thought, and that's true. But that doesn't mean that people think you're in a lawsuit, your lawyers handle it. It's absolutely not the case.
No, you're involved. Right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. You have to review every document. You have to go through every emotional hurdle. You know, the trial itself, and I talk about the trial in American Wife too. The trial itself was so emotionally draining and so frustrating. And you know, I've heard the interviews of the jurors afterward, and I find it very frustrating too, because I guess I was supposed to be emotionless, but I don't know how you do that when your murdered husband is up there, and you know, and these other
I said from the
people.
very beginning that Governor Ventura should not have. She said what he said, and then let it go. That's my opinion. The book is doing very well. Big bestseller.
Yes.
American Wife. Want everybody to check it out. And if we can ever do anything for you and your family, Miss Kyle, let me know.
Thank
okay?
you. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.